Randy Boyd here, President of the University of Tennessee. Thank you to the East Tennessee Historical Society and the UT Knoxville History Department for inviting me to speak to you virtually for a few moments today at the Tennessee National History Day Regional Competition. History is personally meaningful to me. As a child, I clearly remember school field trips here in Knox County to places like the Blunt Mansion and the Craighead Jackson House. It was just so neat to step back in time and experience some of the most important parts of our state's history. A number of years ago, my wife Jenny and I committed to being sponsors of East Tennessee Regional History Day, plus give back to high school students through several scholarship programs that recognize excellence in research, analysis, and documentation. I'm extremely proud that the UT History Department continues to co-sponsor the National History Day competition. Students, I applaud you for working through the challenges of competing virtually this year, and I hope that you'll be back on the UT Knoxville campus next year to compete in person. Congratulations to all of you for your hard work, and best of luck to all our regional winners at the Tennessee History Day competition.
I'm Ernest Freeberg. I'm a professor of history and head of the history department at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. I'm very glad and excited to be welcoming you, congratulating you on the completion of National History Day, especially this unusual, historic National History Day. We usually hold this event on the university campus, but of course that's not possible this year. I know that all of you and your teachers are doing the very best to adapt to these pandemic restrictions. And by the time you're ready to go off to college, let's hope that all of this is behind you. And I hope that when you do think about going to college, that you'll consider coming to our great University of Tennessee here in Knoxville. Many people know about the university mostly for its football team, but it's important to remember that we also have a world-class library, a great museum, wonderful art and music studios, and most importantly, we have an excellent, outstanding faculty, and that includes many, many history professors who are leading experts in their field of study. And these are the sort of faculty that you would get to work with every single day. They study all different kinds of things. So whatever you're interested in, you would find somebody who shares that interest. We have people who study the Crusades, or President Andrew Jackson, or World War I and World War II, or ancient and modern China. A lot of these faculty and the graduate students have enjoyed being a judge at this week's event. And I know that they've enjoyed hearing about your projects. National History Day is one of the exciting dates on our calendar as well, where we enjoy participating with the East Tennessee Historical Society, collaborating on this project. And I hope that you'll continue your interest in history. By participating in History Day, you are off to a great start. You've learned through this process how to ask good questions, how to do your own research and find your own answers, and also how to share it with an audience, as you've done during National History Day. Many students your age studying history don't get a chance to learn history this way. So you're very lucky to have the teachers who have taken the time to be able to help you participate in National History Day. And I hope you make sure to let them know that you're grateful for this chance to do this. This is an extra effort on their part, especially in this challenging time. So we're all grateful to them and for their work. I often ask my colleagues in the history department who are devoting their lives to studying history, what got them interested in a profession as a teacher and as a researcher, how they got interested in history. And almost all of them say they had a great teacher in high school or in middle school, and maybe a special project that they worked on like the ones you've worked on. So I suspect that's the case for many of you here today. And no matter what the judges finally decide about a winner and loser, that makes all of you a winner. So best of luck to all of you on National History Day, and hope to see you on our campus at some point.
Welcome, everyone. I guess I first have to just start by thanking all of the incredible hard work that's gone into this, not just from the students, but from the teachers, as well as everyone who's helped organize it. This has been such an amazing event, and I'm very excited and happy that we could help support this and really reach out to the region. And I think that it's important as well. I can only echo what Dr. Freeberg said about the University of Tennessee, because I am also myself an alumni of East Tennessee, and it's an excellent university. And it's the only way, you know, I'm originally from Granger County, and it's only really going to UT and graduating from UT that I've eventually been able to travel the world and come back and be the president of the East Tennessee Historical Society. So I'm a big fan of the University of Tennessee, and I'm very, very proud and happy that we've partnered with them and with your schools to bring this together. And I've taken a look at some of the projects that have been submitted, and they're really, really fascinating, interesting stuff. I know that this has been a very difficult year, but just some of the work that I have seen was just remarkable and very interesting. And I think a lot of amazing work's been done. And I myself was interested in a lot of the projects because they're near to my own sort of heart and interests. Because at Aberystwyth University, I taught espionage studies, and there was a lot here about cryptography and secret espionage during the Cold War. And I think that that's really interesting. And one of the things that we do in the region as a society is try to take and show how the region history is sort of international and global history. And espionage is a really interesting way to do that because, as you probably all know, the Manhattan Project was underway in Oak Ridge. Well, the Manhattan Project and the work that was being done there was heavily spied on by the Soviets, especially the Soviets. And certain spies who would later go on to be called the atomic spies, people like Alan May Nunn and Klaus Fuchs, were people who actually went on to work at Los Alamos and work in the Manhattan Project, who would have known about Oak Ridge and known and seen some of the science that came from Oak Ridge. And so in many ways, that's what we like to do at the East Tennessee Historical Society, is show how our own local past is a part of the greater story in the world. So this is a great way to showcase that through these projects. Now, you're probably tired of listening to me, so without further ado, the real event that you're here for, I'm going to hand over to Lisa, and we can get down to the business of giving the awards.
Well, thank you to everyone for being here. I know that you've heard from Randy Boyd and from Dr. Freeberg and from Dr., who is our new CEO and president at the East Tennessee Historical Society. And I want to echo what they say, and congratulations, and how much your hard work, whether teacher, student, parent, supporter, your hard work has meant this year. And we want to go ahead and get along with the awards presentation. And I want to introduce the others that are here with me to present the awards. My name's Lisa Oakley. I'm Curator of Education and coordinator of the East Tennessee History Day Regional Awards of Tennessee History Day, which is the state affiliate for the national competition. And Layla Smallwood works with me here at the Historical Society. She's our education program manager and assisting me with National History Day. And she'll be helping me make the announcements here in just a minute of the awards. And also joining us is Nikki Ward, who's the Tennessee History Day State Coordinator, and Hannah Zeckman, who is her assistant state coordinator, both with the Tennessee Historical Society and Tennessee History Day competition. So the one thing I want to say starting out is please stay through the awards presentation, especially if your name's announced, and we will be announcing first, second, and third place winners. And we want you to stay on till the end of the presentation so you can hear from Nikki and Hannah. They're going to give you some tips and some pointers on next steps. We can't cover everything today, but they will help you get started in knowing what the immediate next steps can be of gathering your feedback, as well as preparing your projects for a pretty quick turnaround. The deadline for submission at state will be March 19th, which is just right around the corner. That tends to be the case with our competition every year. But we're going to give you some good feedback. The judges loved your projects. They really enjoyed this year. It's different for everyone, but they enjoy being able to spend the time studying your projects and learning from you. That's one of their favorite things about National History Day and about this regional competition. So the thing that they hated the most, though, is that they didn't get to meet you. Everyone missed the interview process and being able to be together, and they've all voted clearly that we must have it in person next year. So the authorities and everyone involved needs to know that all the East Tennessee history judges determined that everything is going to be better next year. And we're going to be together at the Student Union on UT campus and to enjoy it. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and get started with, I just want to say a few words about the theme this year. And communication in history was something that many of you thought immediately, I know, of what you wanted to talk about. You thought about into the past, what communication in history meant to you. And we saw some great projects. I know that Dr. mentioned some of the things that he was impressed with of your projects, to say that they connected with him and took him into his own research. So congratulations on that. But one thing I wanted to stress is, oftentimes we want to choose topics that relate to what we're living through in our own lifetime. I can remember the first year we did National History Day and had a competition. It was in March of 2001. And you can imagine what happened with September 11th, just later that year. The next year, students were really excited about the opportunity to study more clearly things that had related to something that they had experienced or observed. National History was very clear and said no National History Day project topics on 9/11. It's too soon. And in fact, they still really stress that they want you to choose something that's at least a generation removed from your own lifetime. But one of the things that is really striking about the theme this year about communication in history is the fact that we can look at everything going on in our lifetime, and especially last year and this year. And I want you to just take a minute to think about how important communication has been to that story, about how embedded it is into everything that we've experienced last year, this year. And really, you cannot really study, if you were 25 years from now, what was going on in 2020 or 2021 without considering communication. So the one thing I want to encourage you to do, I'm not going to be talking a lot about state. That's what Nikki and Hannah will do. But I really want to encourage you in this moment, as you're excited about hearing your name called. And if your name is called, I want you to think about bringing those history topics to life as if you're thinking about how embedded your topic was in the time you're studying. That's where you're going to really need to grow, to continue researching and thinking about your topics, the why and the how, and really doing justice to how incremental and how significant your topic was in the past and in history. And I think that if you think about how relative communication is today, and just imagine how relevant your topic is in the past, bringing that to life for the judges, they will be excited to see that at stake. So don't want to belabor that. It just really impressed me when I was thinking about how relevant communication has been, just even to what we're experiencing now. Thank you, students, for all your hard work. The sponsors, you've heard from most of those. UT is an incredibly important sponsor. The Boyds, I know that Randy Boyd mentioned that he sponsors scholarships. High school students, if you have a business technology topic, or if you have an East Tennessee topic, you really need to consider applying for a scholarship. And we will be communicating that information through your teachers to you. The deadline will be around April the 15th. And so we will get that scholarship information to you. Please, please, please apply, because the Boyds want to recognize the work that you have done in those topics. But we really appreciate those sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to continue the work here at the East Tennessee Historical Society in partnership with National History Day, and specifically with Tennessee History Day. Thank you to all the judges that were involved. We had about 40 judges working this year. Most of the time when we're in person, we have over 100, but virtual kind of focused that a little bit. But everyone's excited about coming back next year to meet you at National History Day's regional competition. Teachers, could not do it without you. I don't know if many people really reflect on the fact that teachers of all professions this year have had to really, reinvent themselves almost, and kind of be a little schizophrenic here and there, saying, okay, I've got to be this person at this moment and this person at this moment, and playing hybrid classroom or whatever it is. So kudos to each of you, and thank you for continuing to work National History Day into your curriculum and working with your students to introduce this incredible program. And we're glad that it found a place in your classroom. And parents, you too, what a year. Everyone has an individual story, and we hope you're documenting it for those future National History Day students so that they can look back in 25 or 30 years at 2020, 2021 and see how you were able to make things work and make National History Day work through this time. So we want to thank you. The next step after the awards presentation, again, you will hear more about it, is Tennessee History Day. The awards presentation will be on Saturday, April the 10th. The deadline will be April the 19th to have all your registration and submission in. And so now let's find out who is going to be advancing on to state. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Layla Smallwood, and she is going to announce our first category.
All right. Hi, everybody. So my name is Layla Smallwood. I'm the Education Program Manager at ETHS, and I'm going to be announcing the awards. So we're going to start with third place and work our way up for each category. So our junior group documentary third place goes to Unlikely Messengers, Animal Communications in the First World War by Alex Edelman and George Mancini. Junior group documentary second place goes to An Archive to Tell the Whole Truth, the Story of the Ringelblum Archive. And that is Katya Bigowski and Ellie Wood, excuse me. And first place for junior group documentary, Alan Turing, A Modern Enigma by Samuel Sluter and Grayson Steinbach. So for our junior individual documentary, second place goes to The Black Death Pandemic, Harper Higgs. And in first place, The Bomb and Enigma, Dagan Holmhorst. For our senior group documentary, third place, Propaganda, The Heart of Any Movement, Karsten Reed and Joseph Roddy. Second place, number 96, The Soap Opera That Changed Lives by Fiona Collins and Caroline Smith. First place, Nanyehi, Our Cry Is All for Peace, Christine Chen and Lily Cooper. For senior individual documentary, third place, Operation Teapot, 1955, The Unclassified Operation of Americans' Atomic Veterans, Ben Van Dyke. Second place for senior individual documentary, Thomas Nast and the Fall of Boss Tweed, Luke Dahl. And first place for senior group documentary, Culture, Communication, and the Legacy of the Cold War, Max Harper. All right, so I'm going to turn it back over to Lisa, and she's going to share some special awards with you all.
Okay, so our first special award, actually there's junior division first and second place, and then we will also have a screen for senior division first and second place. And Judy Bucetta every year offers this award for just great use of primary sources. It's in honor of her parents, Dan and Mary Shannon. And she was one of our first East Tennessee regional teachers at St. John Newman School. And we just really appreciate all the hard work that she did to get National History Day going in East Tennessee and growing in East Tennessee. And she has continued to honor your work and recognize your work. So the junior division first place of the Dan and Mary Shannon Award is Unlikely Messengers, Animal Communications in the First World War by Alex Edelman and George Mancini. And junior division second place is Communication, Navajo Code Talkers in World War II, Christopher Carter. And then for senior division, we have first place, Conservation Through Communication, the Thompson Brothers Campaign to Create the Great Smoky Mountains National Park by Halen Oimby and Kaylee Malone. And then for the first time ever, we have a tie for second place. In the senior division, second place, Early Amateur Radio, The Hero of Communication by Ryan Reardon, and Nanya He, Our Cries All for Peace by Christine Chin and Lily Cooper. And let me just take a minute before turning it back over to say for our special awards, we do have your addresses. So we will be communicating with you for medals and awards. We will get those to your teachers. And so it'll take us a little while to get you your actual hardware, if you will. But usually I have to ask you for your addresses for special awards, but we will get those to you because you have your addresses in the system. So we'll continue on with the next category. Is Layla?
So our next category is going to be junior group exhibit. Third place, the father of the radio, Guglielmo Marconi, Brandon Hager, Bentley Larson, and Tatum Taylor. Second place, Secret Communication in World War II, Henry Landau and Jacob Mower. And first place, The Letter That Broke Out, Georgia Hatcher, Nick Karpenkov, and Ellie Rittenhouse. Next, we have junior individual exhibit. Third place, Hoofprints Through History, Key to Understanding Communication in the 1800s, Reese Ottinger. Second place, Communications in History, The Underground Railroad, the Network That Led to Hundreds of Slaves' Freedom, Anais Rodriguez. In first place, for our junior individual exhibit, Lewis Hines, Communicating the Need for Social Reform, Isabella Malone. Next, we have senior group exhibit. Third place, Espionage in the Civil War, Alexis Parker, Leisha Patel, Daniel Richter, and Grace Toth. Second place, A Dark Communion, Salem Witch Trials, The Miscommunication, Ashton Courts and Phoebe Smith. And for first place, Conservation Through Communication, the Thompson Brothers campaign to create this Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Kaylee Malone and Halen Owenby. Next, we have senior individual exhibit. Third place, The Impact of Protests, Marches, and Sit-ins Through History, Carolina Jones. Second place, Code Talkers by Savannah Sasanowski. And first place, European Art by Jackie Hera. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Lisa for a few awards.
Okay, so this next award is a kind of special award offered by Jack and Carolyn Williams, the Making History Personal Award. And it's kind of hard to define exactly what we're looking for in this award. The Williams are really interested in rewarding students that have found a personal connection with their topic, or they have shown a special interest over a number of years. They've developed their skills as a historian. Perhaps they have, they haven't quite, they've started out and you can see the real potential with their work, and he wants to recognize that potential, encourage you to continue working in your projects. So I actually share projects with the Williams, and they look at them every year. Some are self-nominated and many are judge-nominated. And so this year, the Williams would love to honor Queen Liliuokalani. The first thing you have to do is to share with me how to pronounce her name. Message of Hope That Touched the World, Kaya Patel and Sonora Rodriguez. And then in the senior division, the 6,888 Central Postal Directory Battalion by Haley Gibson. And the judge in this that nominated it said, and this is person that, this is a senior historian that has studied American and world history. And he said, you taught him so much about this topic he didn't know anything about. And so he was just so excited about your project. So both of these projects very well received, and the judges were just very complimentary. So congratulations on the award. And I know that Jack and Carolyn Williams say congratulations as well.
Okay, so next we're going to go to our junior group website. First place for our junior group website, Communication During the 19th Century, Angel Hernandez and Jackson Ratcliffe. For junior individual website, first place, The Evolution of ASL and How It Affected American History by Noah Tancre. Our next category is senior group website. Third place, Operation Bodyguard. Nicholas Gillespie, Duncan Gilpatrick, Thomas Thoreau, and Celia Wright. Second place, The Significance of the Code Talkers. Mohammed Boshnag and Shane Evans. And first place for senior group website, The Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, Communicating Hazardous Labor Environments. Annie Hodge and Isabella Mistrioni. Our next category is senior individual website, The Silencing of Stonewall. Third place, Lacey Bembury. Second place, Ida B. Wells, Sarah Ahmed. And first place for senior individual website, Nazi Propaganda, Communicating Beliefs, Hannah Blake.
All right. So next we have the Sequoia Award presented by Indian Creek Productions and Mark and Sherry Fincham. And they want to recognize Nanya He, Our Cries All for Peace by Christine Chin and Lily Cooper. And of course, this project relates to Native American history, which is the focus of this award. And so congratulations to Christine and Lily on their Sequoia Award.
Great. So next we're going to be sharing junior individual paper. Third place, The Ghost Army, Masters of Communication, Jake Ward. Second place, Stonewall, Fueling a Movement, Isabella Liu. And first place, Communication, Navajo Code Talkers in World War II, Christopher Carter. Next, for senior individual paper, third place, The Hello Girls of World War I, Anna Catherine Whitaker. Second place, Protests Through History, Serenity Driscoll. First place, The Navajo Code Talkers, Tony Grayson. And some more special awards.
All right. So the next award is Best Project in Civil War Era History. And this is not just the Civil War proper, but that whole era. So the antebellum period leading up into the Civil War period, which is true context for both of our award winners, first and second place. Communication in History, the Underground Railroad, the network that led to hundreds of slaves' freedom, for first place, Anis Rodriguez. And second place, Harriet Tubman and the Secret Code of the Underground Railroad by Antoinette Bruce and Bergen Erickson. So congratulations on this award, and it's presented by the Daughters of Union Veterans, Lucinda Heatherly Tent number 3 in Knoxville.
So our next category is going to be junior group performance. Second place, Queen Lilo, I have this written down. Lolio Wokalani, Message of Hope That Touched the World by Kia Patel and Sonora Rodriguez. And first place for junior group performance, Harriet Tubman and the Secret Code of the Underground Railroad, Antoinette Bruce and Bergen Erickson. Okay. Our next category is junior individual performance. Third place, You Can't Touch Love, The Impact of Annie Sullivan by Olivia Campbell. Second place, Dance as Communication, Addison Odell. And first place for junior individual performance, Outspied, Communication in the Culper Spy Ring, Eve Hutchison. Next is senior individual performance. First place, Steve Jobs, a visionary, pioneer, and transformer of technology, a man who put the world of communication in the palm of a hand, Ethan Elder. And that concludes our awards. Congratulations to all. And I'm going to turn it back over to Nikki and Hannah.
Congratulations to everybody, all the students that participated. You guys put in a lot of hard work this year, and we know that it was circumstances that you weren't expecting. And we're just really proud of the work that you and your teachers were able to put forward this year. And we appreciate your continued participation in History Day. A few things to keep in mind for state as you move on to state in April. The date of the awards ceremony will be April 10th, and your deadline for your submissions is March 19th. That is a firm deadline for state. So what that means for you is that your edits and your uploads need to take place as quickly as possible. And you have until March 19th to do your edits, but they have to be in by March 19th. And as far as your edits, third place needs to do edits as well, because we never know, first and second might not be able to attend. So make sure you are paying attention to the feedback from the wonderful judges here in East Tennessee and taking what they said, looking at your work and improving. Everyone can improve their work and grow it. And that needs to be done before the 19th so that that submission is there and ready to go. Teachers, make sure that you log into the system. What's going to happen is in a few days, you will get an email that says you have been advanced to state. That email will have lots of information for you in it, things to keep in mind. Teachers need to go ahead and log in to make sure everything's in there for them. And that way students can complete their registration as well. Within that email, you're going to find information about how you submit things. It's all very similar to how you did it for East. So if you did it successfully here, we know you'll be able to do it successfully there. There's information about fees that you will need to pay for that, how to do that. All of that information is there. And exhibit and performance, there are some things that are different for you this year. Please make sure that you are following the NHD guidelines. If you did not do that for regionals, that's okay. You need to look at your work and make sure that it is ready to go for state. There is a ton of information on our website, and that website will be sent to you when you get your advancement email. Hannah, is there anything you would like to share?
Sure. I just want to say that I am so proud of all of you. We've been looking at the projects coming in, and I cannot wait to see what your edited projects look like at state. We're really excited to see the work that you've been doing. I would also like to add that we are going to continue sharing things that will help you edit on our social media. So be sure to follow us on Instagram. We're also on Twitter, and we are also on Facebook. So we will include information about our social media platforms on the info that we're sending out to you. And that includes helpful editing tips and quick tips from National History Day, as well as other events that will be going on. And great job.
All right, well, congratulations to everyone. I think this is the absolute quickest presentation of awards that we have done. It was actually a combination of our usual welcome ceremony at the beginning and then the presentation of awards. So you may have questions about your feedback, getting your evaluation forms back. It is a new rubric this year. I think that it will be very helpful to you in addressing changes. You'll be able to see exactly what the judges were looking for and suggestions that they have made. So those are going to be viewable on the registration system. You'll be able to log in on Monday and to have access to your evaluation forms there. If you have any question at all about that, please email me and I will do my best to help you with that. This is new for us to be able to access those forms online. We usually send them to your teacher. So teachers, please know that your students will have access. So you may want to help them facilitate that in a class setting or however you want to handle that. They will have access. One thing I really want to stress is that we are here for you and available if you have questions or if you would like to have input or clarification of judges' comments, whatever it might be. This is what you can make of it. And so we're here and available as a resource. Please reach out if you would like to meet with us. As Dr. said, he shared, some of these things are things he has expertise with. We can put you perhaps with a historian. You have a quick turnaround time, so you have to kind of prioritize the changes you want to make. But if we can help with that by giving you feedback, we're happy to do that. So this awards program is available, and will be available on this same link over the weekend. We may actually take it down and do some editing and add some graphics to it, but we will be posting it so it can be publicly watched on our YouTube channel, and we can send that link, if it's a new link, out to you all later as well. So it will be available all weekend as you see it now, and then we may do some work on it and get it back available public, at least hopefully by midweek or by the next week. So share it with everybody. Let your family know. They can go in and watch at the link that you're watching on now, and then we'll share with you when there's a new home for it once we do some cleaning up and adding some graphics to it. Anyway, I do want to stress, especially for performance and for exhibits, we were not as particular at Regions about some of the formats that you need to use and some of the materials that are required. So please check out the materials that you receive from state and make sure that you are compliant and that everything is in the format that is needed to compete. So anyway, thank you so much. Layla, Nikki, Hannah, anything else that we need to share with the group? All right, well, thank you all for hanging out with us on this Saturday afternoon. We've been really excited about this. It's been an incredible month of working with your projects, and I look forward to seeing everyone, at least through your projects at state and beyond. And you can tell from my backdrop that Nationals is coming. We might not be there in person, but the picture is actually from the opening ceremony of the national competition at University of Maryland. So hopefully many of y'all have your sights going that way. If not this year, then next year we'll be in person on UT campus, and we look forward to that. And you'll be getting information about next year's theme very soon. Do you want to tell us what it is, Nikki? I didn't have a logo up for next year.
We will announce that at state.
Ah, yay. See, you need to log in and watch. So anyway, congratulations, and we will see everyone in April. Y'all take care.